Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, let me give you my Capricorn December 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as December goes, Venus will be in Aquarius from the 20th until the 31st, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this can manifest in a number of ways. If you're unattached at this time, Capricorn, you may connect with an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Aquarius characteristics. It could be somebody you strongly value, figures prominently in your monetary situation, your income, possessions, your resources. It could also be a time too where you value your independence and freedom in regards to making money, or you might even find yourself making money doing something Aquarius related at this time, such as something with innovation, computers, electronics, aerospace, astronomy, esoteric subjects, any astrology, anything that could be Aquarius related. Could be about a time too where you enjoy the time with your friends, and you strongly, you value this at this time as well, and also valuing perhaps very unique, unorthodox type possessions at this time, and perhaps expressing. It could be a time where at this time as well, it could be you're talking about Venus, and astrology is what we love, what we really enjoy at this time. And this could be about the enjoyment of Aquarius type possessions, such as things that are innovative computer, electronic gadgets at this time. Could even be model rockets, anything that could be Aquarius related. So anyway. Well, next thing up is Mars will be in Scorpio, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, the situation with friends and acquaintances may be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. It could be a time, too, where you could be injecting some energy into perhaps trying to transform your friends or acquaintances at this time, or really could be a time too you might be injecting a lot of energy and vitality into Scorpio type goals and aspirations, such as locksmithing, astrology, occult, supernatural subjects, maybe becoming an embalmer, a coroner, a surgeon, anything that could be Scorpio related. And the arguments is, again, going back to the situation with friends, acquaintances, people in groups, clubs, organizations, may be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There may be arguments connected with jealousy and a lot of vindictive and vengeful anger, so just be careful in regards to that at this time. So anyway, and if you're unattached at this time, Capricorn, you may connect with a Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Scorpio traits. And it could be for a sexual liaison, it might be some sexual interlude, it could be somebody you meet at some group, club, or organization. This could be a time, or it could just simply be a friend where the friendship escalates into something stronger, more sexual connection at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Jupiter will be in Capricorn for the majority of the month, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, as I've stated in previous videos, Jupiter could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. In some cases, it could enlarge and expand the waistline. It could just be simply eating very traditional type conventional foods at this time. It could be a time too where it could also expand and enlarge Capricorn qualities and characteristics that you're expressing very outwardly, especially if this is actually, hitting the first house in one's natal chart. Could expand and enlarge qualities such as being very conservative, prudent, cautious, disciplined, structured, serious, even intransigent. Also, perhaps being at this time as well, also being very orthodox, very conventional, but also perhaps appearing very despondent or melancholy as well, and pessimistic. Now, It could also be a time too. I mean, it could be a very fortuitous period for you, Capricorn. It could be very auspicious for Capricorn, like new beginnings, such as dentistry, accounting, even information technology, general mundane work, business, political work, work with the government at this time. And you might come across as a little bit more benign or more. I should say more exuberant, more enthusiastic, more jocular on a first impression. You might find yourself being more jocular, maybe using maybe a very wry sense of humor at this time. And it could be a time too where Jupiterian-like people might be more, might have a stronger impact on you personally in your outlook. It could be people that are philosophers, publishers, people that are in higher education, anything that could be Jupiter related at this time. So anyway, well, next thing up, Saturn will still be in Capricorn. So again, the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, unlike Jupiter, Saturn actually could give a propensity to lose weight when you're having it hit the first house in one's chart. So I mean, between Jupiter and Saturn, there might be some fluctuation and vacillation as far as the weight goes, but because Saturn, of course, can give the propensity to lose, well, Jupiter can do the opposite and gain weight during that time. But the thing about this is, another thing about this transit, you're talking about Saturn, Capricorn in the first house being emphasized and highlighted. This could be a time too where you might find yourself taking care of a sickly or debilitated. Could be a person from your early childhood or even a grandmother. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time. You might find yourself more having to take on more responsibilities at this time, and it could also be something Saturn Capricorn related that you're dealing with as far as your self goes physically. It could be something, again, something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings at this time, and you might have more responsibility to taking care of the physical body at this time. But on a positive note, this could also manifest in Saturn/Capricorn new beginnings. It could be a time where you might become more involved, like in business or politics or the government, something Capricorn related, even such as information technology, accounting, anything that could be Saturn/Capricorn related at this time. So anyway, and you might come across more as a mentor at this time as well, more so than usual. And you might be even more disciplined, more structured on a first impression than even you were previously, and you're more about planning and premeditation. Now, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, you might find yourself dealing with some unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior from children, from lovers at this time. Could also be a time, too, where you might find some fluctuation in personal popularity, where that it might be somewhat erratic and sporadic. You might be dealing with some unpredictable behavior from lovers, from children, people that you know well, and things that you enjoy, things of amusement. It could be creative endeavors. But on a positive note, you might find yourself getting involved in Uranus-like things that are fun, amusing, and enjoyable at this time, such as astrology, esoteric subjects, computers, electronics, innovation, radio-controlled items, aerospace, astronomy. And being in Taurus, it could be something that you strongly value at this time. And also, too, it could be a time where you might be getting involved in some kind of Uranus-type investments at this time, such as something with computers or electronics or new technology, anything that could be Uranus related at this time. So anyway, and also too, sometimes this could be about gaining something very unexpected or unanticipated from something of a speculative nature, or some investment at this time, and whether it's something good or something negative, it could be a lot of that could be predicated and dependent on aspects it makes to points in your chart. Positive star trine your natal Jupiter could be something very surprising that could be very beneficial in terms of a gain monetarily in something of a speculative nature. But if it's let's say makes an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn, then the opposite might happen. It might be a loss and might be causing some sorrow and dejection at this time. Hold on a moment, people. Well, next thing up, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this can manifest in a number of ways. You might find yourself communicating about dreams at this time. Sadly, in some cases, this could be about the dissolving or dissipation of rational thinking. Your memory may not be quite as good as it had been, but you might find yourself communicating about Neptune-related things, even writing about them, such as the metaphysical, which includes astrology, spirituality, poetry, dancing. It could be things that are fantastical, that are fantasy related. So it could be writing about chemicals, about drugs, anything that could be Neptune related. At this time, you might also be experiencing some kind of confounding or confusing issues regarding a vehicle you may drive, because that is connected with short journeys and local transportation, maybe even taking convoluted short journeys at this time. And at this time as well, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, people you knew, and even people you knew from your early education, may be a little bit more nebulous and unclear, even deceptive and duplicitous at this time, more so than usual. And it might be be very guarded and prudent regarding the details and things that are contracts that are written down, and make sure you're seeing everything at this time, Capricorn, because whenever Neptune is in its chart, a lot of times we have trouble seeing all the details in things that are and you're talking about the third house, so things that are written especially, and even said things. Communications may be a little bit more ambiguous, and you're talking about Neptune in astrology could also show at a time where we might be a little bit more about fantasizing and daydreaming as opposed to taking action. And in this case, third house matters, and especially if this is making an adverse aspect to one's natal Sun, Mars, or Ascendant. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, and a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this could manifest an actual literal death of a grandmother or someone you knew from your early childhood. It could also be a time too where you might be on a positive note. This could manifest in Plutonian new beginnings. Such as doing something with astrology, the occult, supernatural, recycling, transformation, doing something in the death profession, such as starting work as a coroner, or embalming, or funeral director, anything, or nuclear, or even Pluto can also be connected with things that are nuclear, so even nuclear physics in some isolated cases. But you might find yourself at this time where you might feel that this could be about a transformation of the physical body. It could be you might start to work out vigorously or try to do some kind of major change at this time as far as a physical nature, but could also indicate surgery on the body as well, such as something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, or the hamstrings. You might be coming across a little bit more as a more imposing, intimidating, more powerful persona than usual at this time, Capricorn, but also avoid power struggles with first house people, such as someone you from your early childhood, or even a grandmother in some cases, and avoid becoming too overly domineering or controlling with these people as well. But also too, wherever Pluto is in the chart is where we might anticipate or expect infallibility. So also guard against expecting infallibility from first house people, such as people that might have been instrumental in your new beginnings, or people that were prominent in your early early childhood, or even a grandmother in some cases, or people that might have shaped your outlook somehow. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.